And now the official Baytown Police Department press releases concerning the two major accidents that occurred on Interstate 10 today in Baytown, Texas. Today at 9:45 a.m., while officers were clearing an earlier major accident on Interstate 10, they were dispatched to the 3500 block of Interstate 10 in reference to another accident involving multiple vehicles. The reports were that the accident involved at least one 18-wheeler, which was on fire, and a passenger vehicle. Upon arrival, officers learned that two occupants of the passenger vehicle, a pickup, were trapped inside the vehicle. Baytown Fire Department personnel arrived on the scene and were able to extract the passenger of the pickup. The driver of the pickup, a 67-year-old male of the Woodlands, was pronounced deceased at the scene. Baytown Police Department accident reconstruction officers responded to the scene to investigate the cause of the accident. During the course of the investigation, officers determined that the first 18-wheeler struck the rear of the pickup. The 18-wheeler then also struck the rear of another 18-wheeler, with the pickup between the two. This caused the second 18-wheeler to strike the rear of a fourth vehicle, a passenger car. The passenger of the pickup, a 39-year-old male from Spring, was flown to a Houston area hospital to be treated for his injuries. The driver of the first 18-wheeler, a 26-year-old male of West Blockton, Alabama, was transported by ambulance to Houston San Jacinto Methodist Hospital to be treated for his injuries, and at last report was in stable condition. The driver of the second 18-wheeler, a 53-year-old male from Atlanta, Georgia, and the driver of the passenger car, a 69-year-old female from Highlands, were both treated at the scene for minor injuries. No charges have been filed at this time. The freeway is open and traffic flow is back to normal. And now the official press release concerning the first accident that occurred around 4 a.m. this morning near the Shalanda Road exit. On April 22nd at 3:47 a.m., Baytown police officers were dispatched to the 6500 block of Interstate 10 in reference to a major accident involving two vehicles. Upon arrival, officers found a Nissan Pathfinder that apparently had rolled over in the eastbound lanes of Interstate 10, and 3 of the 5 occupants had been ejected. Officers also found a white Chevrolet Trailblazer that had come to rest in the field adjacent to the eastbound feeder road. Baytown Police Department accident reconstruction officers were called to the scene to investigate the accident. During the course of the investigation, officers learned that the Chevrolet Trailblazer had rear-ended the Nissan Pathfinder, causing the driver of the Pathfinder to lose control, which caused the Pathfinder to roll over several times, ejecting 3 of the passengers. The Trailblazer, after striking the Pathfinder, crossed over the grassy median and crossed the eastbound feeder road before coming to rest in a field adjacent to the interstate. The ejected occupants of the Pathfinder, a 20-year-old female, a 19-year-old female, and a 19-year-old male, were subsequently flown to a Houston area hospital to be treated for their injuries, and at last report were serious but in stable condition. The driver of the Pathfinder, a 44-year-old female, and another passenger, a 47-year-old male, were transported by ground to Houston San Jacinto Methodist Hospital, where they were treated for their injuries. All occupants of the Pathfinder are from Port Arthur. The driver and sole occupant of the Trailblazer, a 19-year-old female from Baytown, suffered minor injuries and was transported by ambulance to Houston San Jacinto Methodist Hospital to be treated. Police are still investigating to determine if alcohol was a factor in the accident.